At WrestleMania 34, Asuka, the undefeated Empress of Tomorrow, tapped out to Charlotte Flair's figure 8 submission. More interestingly, and more tellingly perhaps, Michael Cole called it the figure 6 on commentary because of the damage that had been done to Charlotte's left arm during the match. Charlotte didn't end Asuka's streak after an absolute epic of a wrestling match. It was 13 minutes long, 13 bloody great minutes I should point out, but it ended suddenly and abruptly. Stranger still was that in that time, Charlotte did little to inflict a great deal of punishment on Asuka's knee before she applied the hold. On the flip side, however, Asuka then spent the entire match working over Charlotte's left shoulder, which was a pain she would have to endure if she was going to go on to make history. And make history she certainly did. Charlotte, the champion, was pitched as the underdog in this match, and she managed to do what no one else has ever done, and at less than 100%. Now, that's a hell of a statement to make, but that's exactly the point. The destination is sometimes greater than the journey, and at WrestleMania 34, the road to WrestleMania 35 began. Now, everyone is hailing this match to universal acclaim, and rightly so, I should point out, but imagine if John Cena or Roman Reigns had ended such a beloved streak the way that Charlotte did, fighting from underneath despite being the champion, and clearly the pick of the company. That'd be absolute outrage. The fans would be losing their minds in the stadium. Not only that, but Charlotte Flair ended Asuka's streak and was thanked and congratulated by Asuka for doing so. That is a massive win for Charlotte, but also an even bigger endorsement in the space of 2 minutes. Normally when building a major star, WWE likes to wait a little while before they go all in. Just look at Roman Reigns. He wins the Royal Rumble 2015 and then he's endorsed by Daniel Bryan 1 month later at Fastlane. So this moment was an epic one, and given how blunt WWE can be when delivering messages, we should be paying very close attention to this one indeed. While it may be a knee-jerk reaction, it certainly begs the question, is the real reason that WWE ended Asuka's streak because we're seeing the rise of Super Charlotte? Now, I know that might sound a tad cynical, but let's take a look at the events that happened on Tuesday's SmackDown Live. WWE Creative went to their playbook and wrote the first exceptional chapter in a new long-term storyline this week, and as all great stories go, we began with the fall of our protagonist. Charlotte was confronted by 3 trademark obstacles to overcome in the form of the iconic duo Billie Kay and Peyton Royce and Miss Money in the Bank Carmella, and by the end of the episode, the Iconics had beaten down Charlotte and Miss Money in the Bank Carmella had taken away her SmackDown Women's Championship. Sounds to me like Charlotte's plans are already being made for the next few months. The events of Mania 34 all but confirm that Vince and company have the next calendar year mapped out too. At the end of the day, WWE is a business, and ending Asuka's streak in favour of Charlotte, a more marketable, younger talent who's better equipped for the episodic TV model, is an absolute no-brainer. And that's before you even factor in her healthy lineage of being, well, Ric Flair's daughter, that makes her more recognisable to the casual fans that Vince so desperately favours over us poor bastards who are here 24/7, 365, regardless, because we just love the punishment. And while WWE has spent the last year desperately trying to make history and doing a bunch of first-time evers with the women's division, the most coveted spot of all has to be one of the women who will finally headline the Showcase of the Immortals at WrestleMania for the Women's Championship. And honestly, who better to do that than Charlotte Flair? Her rate of improvement is Kurt Angle-esque. Her matches are excellent, and her in-ring psychology and storytelling are absolutely brilliant at putting over the importance of all of her matches. It's a very real possibility that come next year, April 7th at the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, WrestleMania, the main event, Charlotte Flair will be in one corner waiting to make history. And in the other corner? Well, if whispers are to be believed, Ronda f***ing Rousey. The foreshadowing has already begun. If Charlotte can beat the undefeated Empress with one good shoulder, then why she should be afraid of Ronda Rousey and her devastating armbar? The seed has already been planted at the expense of Asuka. Ronda Rousey, on the other hand, absolutely stole the show in New Orleans. In truth, her match had no right to be as good as it was, but if that's what she can do after just a few months, imagine what she could do after 1 year. All in all, WWE's decision to end Asuka's streak and make history at WrestleMania 34 was for one simple reason: so they can make more history in a year's time. Sad as it was to see Asuka's undefeated streak come to an end after an unlucky 13 minutes, this was logical storytelling and forward thinking from WWE. Asuka is more than good enough to come back from the end of the streak. If anything, it was probably becoming a little bit of a hindrance, truth be told. And let's face it, 914 days undefeated, that's not exactly anything to sniff at, is it? This new story arc of the road to Flair versus Rousey at WrestleMania 35 is virtually risk-free. But should the fans turn on Charlotte, as they did with Roman Reigns, then Ronda Rousey is more than capable of playing the babyface role. And actually, at the end of the day, who's to say that isn't their plan all along? Charlotte was incredible during her time in the heel role. She was arrogant on the microphone and able to irritate fans to Stephanie McMahon levels while still being an exceptional in-ring performer. Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey. That is a WrestleMania main event. But despite all of that, where does this leave Asuka? Well, anyone who's followed Asuka since her NXT days will know that she's far more than a streak. Her in-ring ability is up there with the very best in the world, and character-wise, her range is far-reaching. She can play a vicious character, she can play in the comedy role, and she can drift seamlessly between heel and face, sometimes even in a single match. She'll be absolutely fine, and in all fairness, she might even be more interesting too. The real reason WWE ended Asuka's streak was to build to the biggest women's wrestling match of all time, and come WrestleMania 35, in the main event of a packed MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, when Charlotte locks in the figure 6 on Ronda Rousey with one good shoulder, it won't matter how long the show has gone on for, because we're all going to be sat on the edge of our seats in awe of one of the biggest moments in WrestleMania history. And that's our video on Asuka's undefeated streak. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And if you want more content like this, head over to whatculture.com right now, because we've got bloody tons of it. Or give us a follow on Twitter at whatculture_WWE. My name is Adam Nicholas, and as always, have a f***ing great day.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe below, and if you're looking for more content like this, then try a few things that are floating about around my ears. It might be fun. I can't promise it though, but it might be.